my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak just my mind. Oh. You're chilling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, 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 oh,
Welcome to episode 5 of This Week Inside the New York Knicks podcast. Episode 5, unfortunately, the last episode of the playoff edition, man. But you know what? Even though we lost, we got a lot to be proud of, man. So if you just joined in the building, you're not popping with the most popping Knicks YouTube channel on the net. I am the objective fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. And you know the vibes, y'all. So listen, man, don't hang your heads low. I took the day yesterday. I didn't post. I was going to post. I was even considering doing a live video, but don't hang your heads. We had a great year. Jalen Brunson said that it wasn't a success. I'll get to that in a second why I disagree. I think that it definitely was a success. But hey, I think that we overcame the odds. I mean, think about it. And I remember on one of the broadcasts, I can't remember who it was, whether it was, it most likely it was ESPN. And so during the broadcast, just trying to make sure my sounds work, y'all. During the broadcast, it was stated that the Knicks hadn't had one starter who started the season, only Jalen Brunson. He was the only one. So, I mean, a lot of changes occurred. A lot of things didn't go to plan, didn't come into fruition. I had high hopes for this team, but hey, a lot of fluke injuries and things happen. So, yeah, man, really tough, really tough. So, but the good news is, as you can see, if you join, especially to cover the flagship topic, or why next year will be our year. I know that was a thing, especially like in the mid 2000s, after 2002 or 2001, our last good year. So there was a saying every year, this is our year, this is our year. So I feel like we actually can make that statement and actually sound credible. And unlike like I said, the mid 2000s, I think that this coming season, we will make our finals run. I will definitely get to that when it's time to talk flagship. So let me just make sure my chat is on. So definitely, if you just joined the stream, we got an action-packed show. Hold on, I just want to make sure my chat, because for whatever reason, I can't see it on the screen. But that's fine. I always work through technical difficulties each and every week. But as you can see, some of the topics we'll talk about, of course, unfortunately, we'll talk about the series, right? With the Pacers, right? And then in 7 games. Really good series, back and forth. Can't be upset. Can't hang your heads. Shouldn't hang your heads. We'll also talk about Coach Tibbs, whether he get his extension. I'll touch on that lightly. I plan on dropping a video to really get to the bottom of that. We'll also talk about trade rumors. Of course, you already know. Once the season's over, a whole lot of rumors, free agency. That's kind of like the spectacle of itself of the season. We'll talk about the Pacers trolling after the win, and we'll get into the ride. I feel like this is the new rivalry going forward. We'll talk about Paul Pierce and what he did, how he disrespected the Knicks. I'm gonna take my time with him. We'll also get into word on the street, just to see how the Knicks fans feel. Got a couple of polls and much more. So if you're new to the podcast, right, this podcast is dedicated to documenting the Knicks 365, 7 days a week. You give me 50 minutes. I'll get. Oh, you got that same hat? Salute to Sam. Salute to Sam in the building. Oh, by the way, join the Discord. As you can see, I got the barcode on the screen. And definitely, you can click the link in the description. Just go to www.theobjectiveknicksfan.com. Basically, the link you see on the screen. And you'll be able to get in the Discord. Right now, Sam has been holding it down. Looking to get more membership in there. Sam, I see you. By the way, if you're listening to the chat live, definitely tune in. I will be responding to your comments in between topics. But salute to Sam. Listen, man, I understand you feel bummed, but yeah, I took the day off too because one of the things I do, Sam, I'm the objective Knicks fan, right? So I can't just post out of emotion. There's a lot of things I wanted to say, right? And no, I'm good, Sam. I can multitask, but there's a lot of things I wanted to say in the moment, but sometimes I just let the day go by. And to all the people that check out the community section, by the way, check out the community section. And salute to those who always stay in the community section. I do appreciate it. I do got an active poll in there. I'll talk more about that a little bit later. But definitely, I wrote a post at 4 a.m. I said, look, I can't because I was up late. Had a lot of other stuff to do, work stuff. So, and I'm a vampire. So I said, you know what? Let me just write this post now, and because we don't duck the smoke. But like the flagship topic says, next year will be our year. Trust me, Knicks fans got a lot to be happy about. So without further ado, let's jump into research mode, man. This podcast, I like to put everything on the screen, especially when we jump to topics, especially because we also covering the news on this podcast. So definitely, as you can see, we lost the last 2 games to the Pacers. Tough losses. But hey, I mean, when you don't have your team, what more can you do? I'll get into that in a second. Just to highlight the playoffs real quick, Jalen Brunson has been the most outstanding player of the playoffs thus far, averaging 32.4 points a game. I think that's also probably the leading scorer in the playoffs. I didn't double check that, but the last time I checked, he was number 1 in scoring. And look, we don't have another 20-point scorer on the team, and we managed to go to Game 7 in the second round. So salute to the Knicks for fighting, man. Also, the crowd in the Garden, it was hard to watch the game. I turned the game off, and I went back and watched it again because I can't come on the mic without watching, the game, not knowing everything. Hey, it could be a crazy fight. I don't want to miss nothing because we got to talk about anything crazy that would happen. But one thing I noted was that the fans definitely, they supported the group, gave these guys, they flowers by giving them a round of applause. Like, hey, we tried our best. We understand this wasn't a full healthy roster. So salute to that. Matter of fact, since we're talking about that, I'll jump into Game 7, right? So I got the box score here. I mean, I'm not really going to break down the game because I feel like we were robbed of a Willis Reed moment. Not that anyone robbed us per se, but, seeing OG. If you guys, I'm not sure if you guys follow me. By the way, follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is definitely, we got a great following on there. I'm in the Knicks Twitter community. It's TOF on fire. That's basically the username. I definitely did a post for the game preview, and I said, Josh Hart's going to give it a go. I didn't add OG Anunoby to that post because I did a video that was kind of, hey, it wasn't received well by many people, saying that OG Anunoby wasn't going to return to the series because I did the knowledge and the research on hamstrings. So I understood that, hey, it's a 3-week minimum for a hamstring. That's why when he came and played in the game, I wasn't really that optimistic about him and his potential performance in the game because I understand he's not 100%. And look, we understand with the hamstring, you can't even stand straight. His mobility was limited. There was nothing he really could do. That's why it was amazing seeing him hit the 2 shots, but I knew that it wasn't going to work out. I just, what I'm saying? So I was more happy with Josh Hart because he also had an abdominal strain. And I watched the video from this doctor who comments on sports injuries. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name right now. He has a great platform. But he was talking about how Josh Hart honestly should take more time off. He shouldn't rush back. And it was amazing to me to see Josh Hart actually play 37 minutes and grab 8 rebounds, and even score 10 points, right? And while going through that ailment. But seeing him play, that would really gave me the hope and the optimism that, hey, maybe his abdominal strain is not that bad. But clearly it definitely limited his ability. Let's see. Yeah, no one left the Garden, Sam. Yo, salute to the Knick Nation, y'all. No one left the Garden. Sam is right. I checked it. I was watching the game, and everyone was there. Everyone cheered these guys, right? No booing of the Knicks or nothing like that. They really gave us the love and the flowers that they deserve. They gave a round of applause as each guys exited the game for the final time of the year, right? And I thought it was a beautiful thing. So Josh Hart kind of gave me the hope and inspiration that we'll be able to close out the game. But when you're going up against a well-balanced attack like Indiana has, first off, I was wrong about Nembhard. I kind of slept on him a little bit. I did acknowledge that the fact that he is a point guard and he does make plays, right? He definitely made plays for this team when Halliburton missed a couple of games that he missed during the year. But I didn't know that he had it in to score 20 points, you know what I'm saying? To be that much of a factor on the offensive end. And, and then the other guys get rolling. Once Halliburton is rolling, right? TJ McConnell, everybody else sort of follows suit. And then Pascal Siakam, who was, like I always said, he was the anomaly. So not having our legs healthy, there was no way we was going to be able to deal with that attack. I mean, look at the starting lineup for the Pacers. They each had over 17 points a game. 17 points in this game. So it was a tough task. It was a tough task when you don't got your team. And then look, I'm not sure if I could pull it up now, but I mean, you're missing Mitchell Robinson, who was your starting center in the beginning of the year. You're missing Julius Randle, your 3-time All-Star. You're missing OG Anunoby, right? I mean, yeah, he played the first 2 games, right? But at the same time, he got hurt. He missed the majority of the series. And then he tried to come back in Game 7, right? So you don't have your team. You can't. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm happy, because I feel like we defied the odds. When you don't have your guys out there, it's hard. There's more things from this game, but I'm not really going to break down the game too much because, hey, it was tough to watch. It was tough to watch, and I don't really want to go through it. I will talk about certain aspects of the game that New York media. First, and another thing too, salute to the New York media. They didn't dog us out, y'all, right? And salute to Sam in the chat, yeah, with the Statue of Liberty. Oh yeah, we love New York, baby. Oh, salute the coach in the building, man. Yeah, we got the Mars in the chat early, y'all. Salute the coach, man. Coach, we not feeling down. We feeling optimistic for the future, as you can see by the title of the flagship. We're gonna talk about why this year will be the next year. And I'm looking forward to a great season next season for sure. And I believe it. Listen, in Leon Rose, I trust. Leon Rose, I trust. We're going to talk a little bit more about the offseason towards the end of the show, but I'm very optimistic for what these guys got going, right? But definitely the celebrities full force, including the alumni, the OGs, they were all in the building, right? Everybody was in there, right? Look, Fat Joe, Jadakiss, they all was in the building, y'all, and definitely a who's who. Of course, like I said, some of the alumni in the building, right? Clyde in the building. And, it's something special about the Garden, man. And I think that's why we all believed that they were going to win that game. Jalen Brunson says that when talking about the Knicks alumni, it's always important to embrace those who set up that foundation for them to come back to do the things that they're doing on the sidelines. Being into the game is awesome. So I thank them for that, man. Salute to the OGs, the Walt Clydes, the Marburys, the Mellos, all the guys that John Starks, all the guys that really show out, show up, and represent Knick Nation. So I think that was one of the positives of the game. And like Sam said, no one left, right? Coach, I'm not sure if you heard when I said that I couldn't watch the game while in live time. I had to go back and finish like the late third quarter to the final, the final whistle. I had to go back and watch that. I couldn't watch it live. It was crazy. Yeah, Coach. Yeah, you glad the Garden supported? Yeah. Well, come on. You already know Miami. Those guys. A lot of people that live in Miami come from other cities. You got a lot of New Yorkers down there. A lot of people from other places live in Miami, and it's also a tourist attraction. So a lot of times you go to Miami, go watch a Heat game. It kind of goes, yeah. So they got a lot of fair weather fans, and when the Heat are not good, that's just like basically a home game for everybody on the road because once again, there's a lot of transplants that live in Miami. Yep. Yeah, John definitely. Coach John Starks definitely was big in the playoffs. I love how he spoke out. He did apologize to a B. I'll get to that towards the end of the show. But yeah, John Starks, one of the guys who really, really, was going in on the sidelines. Who said that he didn't know how to act? Somebody said John Starks didn't know how to act. But yo, he was a Knick. Once a Knick, always a Knick. That's Knick culture. So we're going to go hard. And look, it's been a while since we had this level of success consistently. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Even in a loss, I feel like we lost gracefully, right? Let's see. So, like I said, OG Anunoby, he tried to give it a go. Just wasn't moving right. And Coach Tibbs did the right thing. So to all the people, and I'm gonna talk more about Coach Tibbs in a second. I'm not sure if some of you guys watching the pod, I'm not sure if you guys like Coach Tibbs like that, but definitely there's this narrative that he, burns his guys out, runs his guys into the ground. If that was the case, why didn't he keep OG on the floor? It was Coach Tibbs' decision to sit OG. He said he didn't, as Coach Tibbs, as you can see on the screen, he removed Anunoby from the game based on what he saw and didn't think he was worth the risk. And definitely you don't want to further aggravate a hamstring, even though it is the off season. But you don't want to delay his potential return, Coach says John Starks was on the baseline acting like a coach. Yeah, he definitely, I feel like he definitely was doing the right things in the moment. Listen, that was one of the keys to victory for us was Madison Square Garden. There's no place like it. Those guys, I was at game 5. I wasn't at the game. I was nearby. And so after the game, I'm not sure if you guys saw that. I didn't post it on YouTube. I posted it on IG. I had some clips. I was out there with the fans. Literally, the fans are out there for like hours or at least maybe 2 hours after the game. They're out there chanting all night. So I managed to catch them, and it was crazy. I took some footage. And so the MSG crowd is nothing like it. And like you said, you got celebrities, you got alumni. They going crazy on the sidelines. So yeah, that's where you do it at in a playoff game. Hey, we played 82 games, solidified our spot, got to the second round. Not everyone gets there. So when you get there, hey, you're going to have to really show out. And that's what they did. I mean, they did. I feel like MSG did their part. The reality of Game 7, these guys shot at a historic pace. I'm gonna get to that in a second, but I just wanted to highlight Coach Tibbs pulling OG from the game because people think that Coach Tibbs just play guys. But yeah, the Pacers, they shot a historic pace. Let me see if I got the numbers right here. So so the Indiana Pacers have the greatest shooting game in NBA playoff history. They shot 67.1%. And led by 26 from Halliburton. That's crazy. So think about it. They had to shoot at a historic pace to beat us. To beat a team that we don't even have our team. That's how I know we would have crushed them in 5 games if we had our dude. They got to have a historic night at MSG when we don't got our 2 best perimeter defenders or at least wing defenders are hurt. Not 100%. Let's see what the crowd talking about, what the fans talking about in the crowd. So Coach says OG played hurt for Toronto, but tried to play hurt. That was big. Yeah, salute to OG. Yeah, I'm giving him you got to give OG a credit because they also tried to say about OG that he doesn't play well under pain. So a couple of people in the chat who I rock with said it too, and I didn't really get a chance to challenge that point. First off, you don't know a person's pain threshold. There is no measurement for pain. What we know is what they tell us the injury is, and then we could look up the normal recovery process. We could look up what the normal treatment is, but we don't know for sure how injured somebody is. And sometimes these guys don't even release all the details. So I already knew off the rip. And like I said, you could go back and look at my game preview post. I didn't even have OG in there. It wasn't until like near game time when he was officially going to play. I said Josh Hart because I knew Josh Hart would give it a go. Because Josh Hart, he's a dog. So once he said he could give it a go, I felt good, but I knew that he wasn't 100%. So when you don't have your 2 best wing defenders, right, especially when it's time to guard Pascal Siakam, it's gonna be a tough task. In terms of pay that man, coach, yeah, definitely. I think OG. I think they need to meet in the middle. I'm not sure if I would give him the $40 million. Maybe I would make that up in like incentives. You know how they do incentives? Like, hey, if you play this many games, you become all NBA defense. You can make it up in that. I would like to keep it a little flexible because I'm not saying that OG is going to be damaged goods going further, but he does have a history of injuries. And on the last pod, it was a Toronto fan actually commented on one of the videos I did. No, actually, it was that OG Anunoby video. And he stated how he always gets hurt at the wrong time. I'm not saying that's going to be the future. Relax. I'm just saying that the contract needs to be in between benefit to him. He deserves to get the bag. Listen, I'm a player appreciator. I will never say someone doesn't deserve to get paid, especially what they feel they deserve to get paid. But I do think that there needs to be some flexibility in the contract to help both sides. And I think that, Leon Rose and those guys, they'll be able to figure it out. Right? CAA gang, you know how it goes. So, John Wallace was there. Yeah, John Wallace was definitely in the building. We can't start talking about injuries when we're saying this was the best Knicks ever with the injuries. Okay, so we can't start talking about injuries. Well, no, but what you got to understand is this, right? The injuries prove how good of a team we could have been. So we are good even with the injuries. The argument, at least especially coming from me, especially when we get to flagship, is that we are a much better team when we have our guys. If we had Randall, let's say, okay, maybe OG gets hurt. Let's keep OG's injuries the way it is. If you have a healthy Randall in this series, it changes everything. Because now they can't just focus their initiatives and efforts at blitzing Brunson and taking the ball out of his hands the way they did. Now you got to have to prepare for Randall, who can play inside, mid-range, and at the three-point line, right? So it changes a lot. Forget Bojan and Mitch. You could keep Bojan, Mitch, and OG the way it went, right? Keep those guys the way it went. Add Randall. It's a different series. That's my point. So, yeah, I hear what you're saying, John Bryce. But this is also not the best Knicks team ever. I just think that they had a great run. You give them, I give them 34 declining like Mitch. You say you think OG is declining? I don't know if he's declining. I just think that the health is an issue. He will be the highest Knicks paid. Yeah, until Brunson's up. Yeah. No, definitely he has to get over $30 million. Like that's the real talk is OG Anunoby definitely has to get over $30 million. And we'll talk more about the contracts in a second. I'm gonna move along with these topics. Of course, on a positive note, Dante DiVincenzo, he also broke history. He had 9 3-pointers in a Game 7, and that is the most ever in playoff history in a Game 7. Right? So salute to Dante DiVincenzo for breaking the record. I tell you what, no matter what happens next season, whether or not we get a better 2-guard, right, and then move him to the bench or he stays there, that man Dante is going to be a problem coming into next season. And with him in the lineup with Randall and OG, listen, man, I'm going to get more into it in a second, but I'm telling you right now, we definitely a contending team. I don't care what nobody else does. You could put together another super team in the East. We already have a foundation that we're building on. We added OG. I honestly am very confident going forward. Let's see. Yeah, Sam, definitely can't wait the next season. Definitely can't wait but I just want to give Dante DiVincenzo a salute though with the 9 threes, right? Let's see. And he also had 39 points, but we don't really big up too much individual stats, especially in the losing effort. But so let me move on. Let me just check my notes, make sure I'm hitting everything. And then also the Pacers also made history with the 70 points. They were the first team to score 70-plus points in the first half of Game 7 on the road, which is crazy. But like I said, those accolades, if I'm the Pacers, right, the Pacers basically got lucky. They faced a hobbled Milwaukee team that didn't have Giannis and had Lillard for half the series. And now they're going to go up against a Boston team, right, after beating a Knicks team that didn't have their guys. So we're going to really see what they're made of in that Boston series. And I do think that they have a shot to make it like a long series, but I think especially if KP comes back and is effective. Yeah, Boston's going to win that series in 5 or 6 games. But I do acknowledge that the Pacers are a really good home team. They've been the best home team in the playoffs. So, but I think Boston is just, waiting for that challenge. And Indiana, their health is up to par. I mean, they're missing Benedict Mathurin, but they pretty much got their team intact. So we'll see how they do. Let's see. Sam says Dante is tough. Yeah, Dante is definitely tough. Nah, you said, wait, hold on, John. You said Randall. All right, John, let's talk about that for a second. Why you think Randall would be destroyed by, I'm assuming, I think Pascal's 43, right? You gotta tell me now. You gotta explain that, John. Destroyed by Pascal, really? This guy right here? You talking about this guy number 43? Really? This guy? Why you say that? I'm gonna tell you what would be the issue. One, Pascal's going to have to play more defense, right? He didn't really have to play much defense in the series. Pascal Siakam is definitely a capable defender. He has a very long wingspan. But Julius Randle, I mean, you think he's going to stop him in the mid-post? Now, I'm talking about a healthy Julius Randle. So I'm gonna give you some credence a little bit on your side because the knock on Randle is the playoffs, right? I'm assuming that's what you're saying. You think that Randle's previous playoff experience is the reason why he would do bad now, right? We could talk about that if you want to. Right, Sam, yeah, he's one of the strongest players in the NBA. Listen, if Giannis, I remember when Randle had like 30-something against the Bucks. Can't remember the exact points. He basically outscored Giannis in the matchup. And he literally was taking Giannis to the basket. He wasn't doing it all on the perimeter, hitting threes. He was taking them to the basket. So if he can do that to Giannis, why wouldn't he be able to do that to Pascal Siakam? Oh, but that's what you're saying? Okay. So you're saying indeed. So let me just kind of like give you a slight pushback on that argument. Randle has only played in 2 playoffs, right? His second playoff, right, is a playoff that honestly, like he did this playoffs, if I was Randle, I wouldn't have played, right? Hold on. The playoffs, he had ankle surgery. When Jimmy hurt his ankle, he didn't have ankle surgery. Randle had ankle surgery on his, but Randle tried to be the leader, tried to be there for his guys. He tried to do basically what OG did, even though OG's injury is different as a hammy, right? But he literally put the team on his back and played when I would have went and had the surgery because I have to think about my career. And then look at what happened after that. So now, because Randle went and played in the playoffs, right, delaying the surgery, he missed out on his offseason routine. The reason why Randle came out and balled, you remember how he came out and balled in the 2023 season? Is because he was going hard in the offseason, working on his craft, working on his game. He didn't have much time to do that in this season's offseason, right? The past season's offseason. So when the season started, he had a slow start. Why? Because he had to get into his groove. And then what happened? Once Randle got into his groove, no more 3 balls. I'm taking you to the basket. So I'm saying, John, if Randle would have played with the shoulder, which I don't think he could do it. I think he needed the surgery. He probably would have had another bad playoffs. And then you, John, you would have said, oh, look, Randle doesn't play good in the playoffs. Not really looking at the whole picture. I'm not trying to excuse him because he definitely has to step up. But I am saying he has a small sample size. He has a very small sample size. Let's see a healthy Randle coming out of maybe a 4th-time All-Star, right? Maybe a 3-time All-NBA season. Healthy going into the playoffs. Let's see what he does then. You see what I'm saying, John? So let's not, knock Randle just yet. I think Randle will be fine. I just think that his health needs to be up to par. So where was I at? Let's keep it moving. So Isaiah Hartenstein, a lot of people were giving Knicks fans was giving Isaiah Hartenstein some slack. He had 0 points. Hero to 0. Listen, old media been holding us down. But they got to take their little jabs. Yes, Hartenstein has 0 points. He did great, grab 8 rebounds. He was a minus 24. Wasn't really his fault in terms of, it's no individual's fault. I mean, honestly, if Brunson would have been healthy in that second half, we probably had a chance to win the game. I don't know if we would have won it. I couldn't guarantee it because Hart wasn't 100%. But I'm trying to tell you, Dante's shooting at all cylinders. Burke's shooting at all cylinders. Brunson was getting in the groove. He just fractured his hand. I mean, I don't know what else to say. And speaking of the fractured hand, do I have that article here? Jalen Brunson, to me, fracturing his hand. I don't have it here. I don't know why. But him fracturing his hand definitely, to me, was, the nail in the coffin. Honestly, when they said it on the broadcast, they said, and the way they say it, too, they said, we have some bad news for Knicks. When they said we have bad news for Knicks fans, y'all, I was like, oh, no. I already knew off rip it was Brunson. And when they said he fractured his left hand, and I think he did it on that play where he swiped at the ball on Neesmith. Y'all saw that? When he swiped the ball on Neesmith, and he kind of was holding his hand, and he was trying to tough it out. But he came out the game, went back in the game, then came out the game. And once they said that, I said, yeah, it's over, y'all. It's over. And that's actually where I shut the game off. I think that was the fourth quarter. That was tough to watch. Because I'm like, damn, even if we won the game, we ain't going to have Brunson. So it might as well not even win the game. So I had to shut it off. And then I saw Rick Brunson on the bench, like holding his head down and looking like he was crying. So I was like, oh, man. I don't know if he was crying. I don't know what Rick Brunson was doing. Maybe y'all could tell me. But I shut the game off. I couldn't watch no more. But yeah, it was just sad at that point. Definitely sad at that point. Let's see. And I'm going to talk about this in a second. To all those people, to the young Knicks fans, right? Salute to you guys, right? But at the same time, you guys got to understand now, this Pacer thing is heated. Is heated. And last week on the pod, I think it was Sam. Me and Sam was he was in the chat, and he agreed that it don't really seem like there's much tension in the series. Like it doesn't seem like there was that fire and desire. Boy, did it turn up in the latter half of the series, right? You had a couple of situations with Dante getting into it with a bunch of guys. He got into it with Miles Turner, right? Game 7, he got into it with Siakam. He tried to push him off the line. And I'm glad the refs didn't call a tech because I was thinking like, damn, they might give him a tech for that. Definitely. Let's see, John. See what John's talking about before we continue. I had an issue with him talking about coming back knowing he needed surgery. They tried to get an exception for Mitch, but not Randall. But we could have gotten someone to help us. Well, how you have an issue coming back, though, John? I mean, he was trying to be the hero. He didn't come back for himself. So the smart thing for Randall, for himself, would have been to avoid your narrative in terms of he didn't play well in the playoffs, right? And have an off season so he can actually come out and, get an extra couple of weeks. So he'll have an extra couple of weeks to work on his game, right? That's what I would have did. No, it would have been a month because he hurt his ankle in early April. So he would have had an extra month. He could have got the surgery. That's an extra month. Think about it. You would have had your surgery, then your rehab. Now you can work out. So how are you going to fault Randall for that? Oh, salute to you, John, for hitting the like button. And by the way, John, we could agree to disagree. We definitely disagree on that Randall point, though. It's all good. That's why this is the objective Knicks fan. By the way, y'all, definitely get into the Discord. I don't have it here. I'm going to switch screens right quick. Bam. You could scan the barcode if you want to. Or you could just go to www.theobjectiveknicksfan.com and join the Discord. No charge to join the Discord. Me and Sam is in there. Join us so we could talk more about this. The name of the Discord is called Knicks Tape Madness, right? But let's continue. Let's see what you guys talking about. Yeah, Dante definitely, Sam, Dante was definitely ready to take on the whole team, y'all. I mean, like I said, he stepped to Miles Turner. Listen, if you got the heart to step to the biggest one in the group, You looking at everybody else like they food, right? Dante definitely, salute to Dante for that, man, keeping that New York spirit, right? People talk about Josh Hart and John Starks. Dante's more like John Starks. They kind of play more alike, if you ask me. Let's see. Shams was saying the same thing I've been saying this morning. Knicks will be aggressive, and Randall is the key to a big trade. All right, we're going to get to that. I'm going to talk more about that, Coach, in a second when we get to the offseason. Yeah, of course, John. You know how we get down, man. Salute to John, man. We could always agree. Listen, if you disagree with me, I don't mind. Just come with level-headed talk. Don't come with no ad hominem attacks. No disrespect. You know, you will get blocked, right? So we're not tolerating that. We here to talk basketball, man. We here to talk Knicks basketball. We all love the Knicks. We may disagree. Hey, and we may disagree passionately, but at the same time, you know, it is what it is, yo. You have your right to your opinion. I have the right to my opinion, and we're going to hash it out. Let's see. I talked about that, right? Talked about the spats. Salute to Coach Tibbs, right? Let me just pause this. But salute to Coach Tibbs, man. Definitely, I feel like he was a Coach of the Year snub in terms of the nominees. I don't mind him not winning the award, but I feel like he should at least be top 3. No coach really had to endure what he was enduring into the postseason. I know Cleveland had a lot of injuries, right? But none of the top 3 seeds on either conference had to overcome the adversity that Coach Tibbs overcame, and to finish at that point in the standings, and then also be a second seed. You got to give the man credit, taking them to 7 games. How many teams would have rolled over and just quit? I mean, you're missing your most accomplished all-star, right? Which is Randall. I'm not gonna say he's the best player, but he is the most accomplished all-star on the team. He has the most all-star appearances on the team, right? You're missing the best offensive rebounder in basketball, right? OG Anunoby goes down. He plays one series and misses the half of the next series. Bojan Bogdanovic, he was putting in that work. He goes down. How is Coach Tibbs not a top 3 candidate for Coach of the Year? This baffles me. But he said that the Knicks had nothing left to give. I agree. He got the team to play to his full potential. And salute to Coach Tibbs, y'all. Salute to Coach Tibbs. Let's see. The guy is good, but not you say that again, Coach, about Brunson? I didn't get that. Not a foot for Brunson. Let's see. Sam, they got an MMA fighter in gym. Yo, you know, a lot of people say that Johnson dude is a tough dude. James Johnson is a tough dude. But I think Randall could give him a full run if Randall was healthy. I think Randall might give him a run for his money. You know what I'm saying? Randall look like a dude that's serious. Like, he ain't playing with you, right? He from Texas. I'm not sure where Johnson's from. But, yeah, I heard that he is a serious dude. And we don't have a lot of big guys on our team. Maybe we got Jericho Sims. I don't know. Maybe Jericho Sims could hold it on. I don't want to see nobody fight, but if we just having fun talking, right? They showed us the reason they're bench players. You know what? I think that the bench only became a factor when the Knicks didn't have much to, when they had to start playing guys over 40 minutes and Burks wasn't in the rotation, and then they waited until OG got hurt. So I think that, and like I said, I'm not knocking Coach Tibbs. I think he did a phenomenal job. But if I was running the show, I might have replaced Burks for Bojan. As soon as Bojan went down, I would have played Burks. I've been saying that I probably said it on Facebook. I probably said it on this podcast. I said that Burks needs to play once Bojan went down. Soon as Burks start playing, he start putting in work. I like I said, maybe it might not have changed what happened in terms of who would win the series, but at the same time, I think Alec Burks would have gave us, some more bench depth. So yeah, technically, they have the bench thing, but I think the bench thing goes out the window when you're playing 7 guys and like 4 of them playing over 40 minutes. Let's see what you guys talking about. I love the chat, man. Salute to the chat. Very, very interactive today. And yeah, we definitely going to still show our face even though it's a loss. And I love the way the Knicks went out, and I think that we had a very, very good season, right? Even though Jalen Brunson kind of disagrees. Let's see. I say we keep, Sam, I'm with you. I say we keep Randall for at least one more healthy playoffs to see how we play at 100% in the postseason. That's what I want to do. I was going to wait till we get to the offseason to talk about that. But, I agree. Why not run it back? You know what I'm saying? Like, trade this player. Trade for what? It might not work. You have to see what you have if it's going to work. Let it be. Look, if we would have had everybody and got bumped in the first round to Embiid, let's say we had everybody and we get bumped in the first round, hey, you got to make trades. But we still doing better. We did better than last season. Yeah, we ended in the second round, but hey, you could argue, hey, we went to Game 7. We didn't go to Game 7 last year. We didn't win 50 games last year, all right? Hey, we also didn't have the injury, the amount of injuries that we had last season as we did this season. So, I mean, hey, let's see. Okay, Coach, you saying Randall's not a fit for Brunson. Yeah, we talked about this before, Coach. You think that, they take turns taking up space? I don't know. I mean, I think that when you had RJ there, I think RJ was the real log jam with the lefties. I think once you got him up out of there, maybe they want to operate in the same spots. I don't know. I still, Coach, I think that they deserve another year. Brunson needs to keep a pick and pop option and roll option, and Randall isn't that. That's true. They don't run enough pick and roll. I definitely agree with that. Honestly, I would love to see OG and Randall run pick and roll too. Like I would like to see some forward on forward action just to force the mismatch. So let's say, all right, I'm trying to think of it. Okay, let's say you're going up against Denver, right? So Denver, they got Porter and they got Gordon. I feel like Porter is just food, right? On perimeter defense. I feel like Porter's food defensively, period, right? So I would run that OG Randall pick and roll to get Gordon up off Randall, get Porter on. I would love to see that. Yeah, I do think they need to run some more pick and roll. But look, let's give it one more year, Coach. But we're going to talk more about that in a second. I just wanted to salute Coach Tiz. I'm still trying to get out of Game 7. Right? A couple of things I want to talk about. All right, New York media giving us the praise, right? They're not really beating us down. Salute to New York media again. Let's see. I don't want to talk more about that. I want to really get to the smoke now. So look, guys, to all the the new Knicks fans, the baby Knicks fans, the guys that don't go back to the 90s, the guys that vaguely remember 2013 with Paul George and those boys, right? The Pacers are officially the ops times 2. They not only took the rivalry, right, back on, they really, I feel like, stepped it up because they really bought into it. So look, Tyrese Halliburton was talking a lot of smack. That's an image of him talking to the crowd, talking to this guy here, right? That's Tyrese Halliburton talking to the fans. So Tyrese Halliburton, y'all, listen, Knick Nation, and I'm doing a round of applause. That's for the crowd. Listen, that guy right there that you see on the screen, he is public enemy number 1. He has advanced and upgraded into the position to being public enemy number 1, right? He is the new Reggie Miller, though he's nothing like Reggie Miller. He's nothing like Reggie Miller, right? Reggie Miller actually made me fearsome of. Reggie Miller, he really put the dagger in our hearts a lot of times. This guy right here, I'm not as fearful of him as I am Reggie, because Reggie Miller is a straight assassin. This guy is a point guard who can shoot threes. Big difference. Reggie Miller trying to kill you. He is no friendly nothing, right? So he doesn't really have a beef with Brunson, and I talked about that last week. There's no real Brunson-Halliburton beef. Maybe it is now. Maybe it might be now. Because you go to a payoff battle, they're in the East. We got to see them again. We'll see how that goes. But this guy right here, he gets booed every time he comes to the Garden. All right? I need the raucous Garden crowd on this guy's body. He was talking too much for me. And then I saw that, and I'm like, damn. In Game 5, he was shaky. Game 7, now he's all confident. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was mad, and I was kind of concerned a little bit because I'm like, damn, he's a little too confident. Definitely a little too confident. Let me see what the crowd talking about. All right, coach. I'm gonna talk more about that in a second. You really think that they are both on the same side? I see that. Brunson needs a pick and roll pop option. Randall isn't that. Okay. So and I know, coach, you like Towns because you think Towns is better than the pick and pop because Towns does run a lot of more pick and roll and pops when he's not just staying. But Towns likes to stay on the 3-point line. I don't like that either. But he definitely runs a lot more pick and roll than Randall does. Let's see. Can we talk about Tyree? Yeah. Oh yeah, Sam. Yeah, I'm here now. Sam, I'm right here. Sam, I am right here with you. We getting to that. Yeah, I've just got to let these new Knicks fans know these are the ops. That's where we are right now, Sam. Right? You didn't know Halliburton was related to Eddie Jones? I didn't know that either. I didn't know he was related to Eddie Jones. Suggs, I might have heard, but Eddie Jones, I didn't know. Okay. So, but we're going to talk about more about this Halliburton, yo. So, because he's public enemy number one. He needs to get, he needs to really think about coming into the Garden and really like, oh, man, I don't want to face that crowd. And then, look, to even add it, right, he got the choke hoodie on. Now, we talked about the choke hoodie earlier in the year. It seems like this choke branded apparel, right, continuously comes up because Candace Parker at the All-Star game, right, we talked about that. We covered that. She had the same shirt. Well, not that same shirt, but she had the same, I guess that's his line, the Reggie Miller line. I don't know. I'm not going to support it, nor am I going to buy it. Right? And it definitely makes me sick every time I see it, right? But she had that on. So now he's really taking it. Like, this is for Knicks fans. I'm just letting you know, this guy is public enemy number one. Like, he's officially on the list. Like, okay, I was there game 5, right? Game 5, it was F. Trae Young, F. Joel Embiid. I think, who else they said? I'm not sure if they said Reggie Miller, but it has to be some F. Halliburton chants at every game, even if they're not playing the Pacers. I need to hear the F. Halliburton because he's taking it there. Let's continue. Indiana's not done. Indiana was really in their bag, right? So the Indiana Pacers, they trolled Spike Lee. They got Spike Lee there holding his face, right? Right? They got him holding his face, right? They really were taking it. They were taking it. Honestly, they did what they. I mean, they won the game, but at the same time, I wasn't happy to see it. I definitely wasn't happy to see it. But yeah, the Pacers, they were going in. Let me see. I got another article here. Let's see. Pacers trolled the New York Knicks in the win, right? Spike Lee, they went after Spike Lee. Then the hoodie, right? We talked about the hoodie. So look, these guys are the ops, right? It's official. It's on. They are the number one ops. Right now, it's them first because we had more playoff series with them than anybody else. Then we look at the Heat. That's the number 2 ops. But right now, these guys are the number 1 ops. And also, the Sixers are the team we got to watch out because they're probably going to be upset that we bumped them. So I don't want to hear nothing about any, oh, yeah, it's not that serious a rivalry no more. It is to the kids. You now understand because now you're old enough to witness what's going on right now. These guys are coming. They got Reggie Miller choke shirts on, right? This guy is jawing at the crowd like everything is sweet. And, the Pacers, they putting up, images of Spike Lee holding his face. We're not going for that. And we're going to see them again next year. I don't care. Let me tell you something, guys. I don't care if the Knicks don't make no other moves. And I know some of you guys might be mad about this. The Knicks don't have to make no other moves. They can come back with the same team. And I put money on it that will beat any of these teams. Boston is interesting. I'd love to see that matchup in the East Finals. I don't know. I got to see what Boston, how they look, whatever happens in the finals, whatever. But all these other teams, Indiana, Philly, I don't care what moves they make. We right there on their body, bro. And the Heat, we going to see. This offseason is going to be crazy. I know one of the teams I mentioned, they're going to make a crazy move. And it might be Philly. Because Philly actually has the cap space and the ability to make moves. Let's see. Sam. New York fans hated in the court of public opinion. Yeah, I ain't done. I'm still on the hate segment right now. Okay, so a big task. Salute the big task guy hand talking with Coach, man. Salute to everybody in the building, man. Yo, this is This Week Inside the New York Knicks, episode 5, the final, unfortunately, the final episode of the playoffs. But I'm going in talking about some key topics. I know we currently at that 50-minute mark, but I'm gonna rock for a little while longer because there's a lot I want to talk about. Even though we lost, I'm definitely want to talk about it. Now, this guy right here, number one notorious, on the list, top 5. Op that we don't like, right? That's why they said the F Reggie Miller. If you a young Knicks fan, you understand. To the OGs, you know what I'm talking about. There's a reason why Josh Hart went over to him, and I think it was game 2, right? It was game 2, and said, yo, they're saying F you, right? And Reggie Miller thought he was saying something respectful, like, oh, no, they're saying F you right now, right? So this guy, right, Reggie Miller, he, right, that's the clip of what I'm just talking about with Hart, right? So this guy right here, hold on, I'm gonna get the poll. Hold on, wait, hold on. Where we at? So yeah, he took to Instagram to troll the Knicks, referencing the moment where Josh Hart said that they were saying the F word. He said, when the series changed, Jalen Brunson, I don't want no respect. I don't want no respect from you, right? Jalen Brunson, you're a true baller. Nah, I don't want to hear that. Been the best player in these playoffs. I don't want to hear that. But you and your boys can heal up together and get some beautiful beaches in Cancun. Please enjoy. Listen, Reggie Miller, I'm going to tell you right now, you better think twice coming back into the Garden. If you think those F Reggie Miller chants in game 2 was something, because you said this and the series went the way it went, oh boy, all that smoke going to be there for you next season. And I can't wait. And, Reggie Miller typically is respectful coming into the Garden. But it's like once the Pacers and the Knicks played again, I don't know, it must have brought some things out of them, right? And I like that because, we want the smoke, right? This is New York City. We ain't ducking and dodging nothing. No altercations, win, lose, or draw. It is what it is. But I don't like how he tried to be nice in the beginning, but then slip into Cancun. By the way, TNT. Charles Barkley and Shaq. I didn't listen to the post game of or the halftime of the Denver. I watched the Denver game on mute, by the way. I couldn't really listen to the commentary too much. This was crazy. And I was multitasking. But I did watch the Denver game. That was a crazy game. But halftime, Charles Barkley, Shaq, all of them. I didn't listen. I couldn't. Didn't want to hear what they had to say, right? Because they hate New York. They're not even objective. But I will say this. I'm going to miss you guys, man, because rumor has it, NBC, they came with the bag. They might have took that Tina Turner's spot, so you might not see Shaq and them no more. They might be out of here. They might be on a bus. You talk about a bus driver, you could take Charles Barkley and Shaq. Y'all could go take a bus somewhere because you guys ain't coming back to NBA TV no more, NBA networks no more. Get them out of here. Right? NBC shut the party down. They don't care about no number one broadcast. What's he called? Like Academy Award, Emmy, whatever the TV show awards is. We don't care about none of that. NBC came with the bag. So get your troll on because we're going to really see who gets the last laugh when you guys are not on the air next year. Let's see. Big Task. Salute to you, Big Task. You took the loss hard. Let me tell you something, Big Task. I respect the process, man. It took me half the day because I was, when it's just something about the broadcast when they said Jalen Brunson fractured. I got bad news for Knicks fans. Why you had to say that? They don't never say that for nobody. I got bad news for Knicks fans. Once they said that, I was like, oh, fractured left hand. I just turned it off. I couldn't, I wasn't going to do it. Mental health, you know what I'm saying? To you guys that watch the game, salute to you. I couldn't do it. But I'm going to say this. All of this is a blessing in disguise. Because you know what it showed me? That a hobbled Knicks team without its core group of starters can shake up the league the way they do. Jalen Brunson by himself. Breaking records. Historic. Multiple 40-point games, doing things since Jordan, Kobe, it's a lot to be proud of, yo. Of course, we want to win. We always want to win. You don't want to end on a loss, especially Game 7 in the Garden. You know what Game 7 is like? We had to wait like damn near 30 years for that. Last time we had a Game 7 in the Garden was like 1995, bro. And it's all right. Next year will be out. I didn't even get to that yet. Salute to y'all in the building. Who just joined the building. This is This Week Inside the New York Knicks, episode 5. It's going to be a little longer. Normally, I try to keep the episodes around 50 minutes. Recently, we've been going a little over an hour. But there's a lot to talk about. Right now, I was giving TNT the business. We talked about Reggie Miller, who is now public. Oh, by the way, when I'm talking about Reggie Miller, when he comes back, he's not going to be back. I just thought about it because he's with TNT. So once TNT get bought out, he got to get hired by another network. What am I talking about? Reggie Miller's not even going to come back. I just thought about that. I'm talking about Reggie Miller when he come back to the Garden. Reggie Miller probably won't be back in the Garden, y'all. It's curtains for the whole TNT. That's what the rumor is. It's looking like it's not even a rumor because, certain people in the media have been coming out talking about, the deal is pretty much done. They just waiting for the season to end to drop the bomb that there's no more inside the NBA. Now, listen, as a Knicks fan, I'm like, get rid of them because they never give us the fair shake anyway, right? But at the same time, I'm kind of gonna miss those guys a little bit because they are a little entertaining. I can't front. I like when they're gone fishing. I mean, they came up with a lot of phrases and things of that nature, and they will be missed. But at the same time, good riddance. We need some new blood anyway. And they need the objective fan up there. I'll be objective. I won't be on my Knicks bag too much. I'll be like Stephen A. a little bit, how he sometimes be. But I'll be objective. You know what I'm saying? It's time for some new blood. I'm tired of the same old, narrative. It's a lot of narratives that's being ran up there. So we'll see what NBC does. But yeah, I got one more, guys, that's going to get you really upset. Right? This is Reggie Miller trolling, right? We talked about that. It's another article in the Post. But we're going to spend some time on this guy right here. And I'm going to get some new sounds for my soundboard. I'm going to get a pit bull sound. Like when we going in on people, I'm going to get the pit bull roar. That's next. I'm looking for that now. I'm going to get the pit bull roar on the soundboard, right? First off, this dude, Paul Pierce, had the audacity, the unmitigated gall, to post a video on his ex of him stepping on a Knicks jersey. First off, Paul Pierce, you don't even have a job in media, right? I mean, he does his podcast, right? You don't work for no network, bro. You're not with the Indiana Pacers organization. Why in the hell are you stamping on the Knicks jersey, bro? Now, if I still would be tight, but if it was the Celtics, okay, that makes sense. Celtics versus the Knicks, you step on the jersey. I'd be mad. But if it's Celtics versus Knicks, you have nothing to do with the Pacers, bro. And to be fair, and I'm not saying that the Pacers are gonna win, they are a live threat in that series, bro. The way they play, Miles Turner, the pick and pop. I don't know if Boston got an answer for Miles Turner. Yeah, I think Boston's most likely going to win the series, but you need to save that energy for the threat that's in front of you. This guy, Paul Pierce, is so delusional, right? I mean, not only did he lose his job in crazy fashion, I mean, hey, I'm not knocking the man for what he does on the personal tip, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, I don't know, man. The IQ is just, he's a great player. Don't get it twisted, but some of the things he says is just crazy. I talked about the Kobe comment. He honestly really believed in his heart, mind, body, and soul that he's better than Kobe Bryant, bro. And he'll give you a long argument as to why. That dude, there's no conversation with him, bro. But all I'm saying to you is, Mr. Paul Pierce, it's on and popping. And look, let me tell you something. I can't wait for next season, yo. The Boston Celtics, please don't fall apart. I'm not saying I want to see them win a championship, but don't fall apart. I want a healthy Boston Celtics next year. And we're going to really see who's going to get that work. Please give me a healthy Boston and a healthy Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals next season. Because automatically off the rip, with no moves, no nothing, no changes, Knicks and Celtics, to me, next season will be 1-2 again. And it's like a destined path until we meet into that Eastern Conference Finals. All I need for them to do is not crash and burn. But what do you guys think about this guy, Paul Pierce, bro? Like, huh? Look, they talking about, oh, yeah, the Celtics swept the Knicks with Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire in the first round of 2011. Okay. And did they win the championship in 2011? No. Right? And then, like, when you do, all right, so when you look at Paul Pierce, right? Let me see something. Paul Pierce. I'm gonna actually, this is what Paul Pierce said. What'd you say, homie? And later adding, y'all still talking, stepping on the jersey, right? Hold on, let me see if I got the other comment here that he made. Oh, there's a comment he made that, damn, I don't got it. But he made a comment where he says something about the Knicks not being a good team or something of that nature, right? But my thing is this though, Paul Pierce. We had injuries. I remember when Orlando Magic made it to the finals. And Paul Pierce said that if we had watching the finals is like watching like basically someone pick on a little kid or something like that, right? Because he tried to make fun of the Magic. By the way, the Magic did beat Boston, and they had injuries in Boston. So why is it that when the shoe is on the other foot, he can't see that picture? He gotta take a shot at us when his own team. First of all, he only won one championship. Not to knock him, because winning a championship is hard. But they had multiple times to try to win another one, and they couldn't do it. I'm gonna go into my Draymond Green bag. Maybe that first championship was just a fluke. Every series went 7 games in the Eastern Conference. I remember that. I was like, yo, how is Boston struggling in the first round in a 7-game series, bro? And then they get to the finals and they play against Lakers without Andrew Bynum for the whole series and win the championship. And he got the nerve to talk about the Knicks, bro. You only got one championship in Boston. That's a failure, bro. One championship in Boston is a failure, bro. Like I said, he was a great player, not on Kobe's level. You know, I mean, is he even a top 5 small forward? You got LeBron, Larry Bird, Dr. J. Who else you got? Scottie Pippen? Hell no, he ain't no top 5 small forward, bro. Let's see what you guys talking about. We can't stand pat. Some moves need to be made. Okay, John. I mean, we're gonna jump into the free agent piece in a second. We're gonna talk more about that. Let's see if I make sure I got all this hate out the blood, because we get a lot of hate. You know what? Let's jump into flagship. All right. So we're gonna jump into flagship. I'm gonna put this up on the screen, right? Because this is the theme for today's show. This season not being a success, and then also looking forward to next season, right? So that's what we're gonna talk about now. Now, I just want to say this. And we could talk a little bit about what you're talking about, John, right? Staying put. I think that next year will be our year, right? Based on the fact that the success we had with this team would not being 100%. I think you come back with the same team, 100%, you do way better. That's just the logic. Now, will it become true? We have to see. We have to wait and see and watch. However, John, I am not on the narrative or in the line of thinking that you don't make a move. If there's a move that can be made, in Leon Rose, I trust. It's just straight like that, because he hasn't really let us down now. A lot of people talking about Obi Toppin. You know, the Knicks, they shouldn't have moved Obi Toppin. I agree that they should have got more than the 2 picks, but at the same time, I do think he should have been moved. I have a video saying that he should have been moved, and I'm standing by my word. I just think that, yeah, maybe you get another piece for him. But at the same time, Leon Rose did the OG Anunoby move, right? That was, later on in the season, right? And then that led to the Bojan move. How are we supposed to know that Bojan was going to shatter his knee up and get hurt? We didn't know that. I mean, Bojan was putting in work. He started getting comfortable in the playoffs, and then that injury happened. Then Burks, of course, it wasn't right after. Burks came in and did what he did. Now, in terms of staying put, I don't believe by default the Knicks stay put because there's a lot of external factors to this situation. One, you have key free agents that you have to re-sign that are unrestricted and don't have to come back. So that automatically will put us in a position to make moves. So we're relying on individuals who, yes, bought into the system. We had great chemistry. Hey, and maybe these guys will want to come back. But at the same time, we got to see. Nothing is official until it's in writing. So, yeah, I'm with you, John. We could make moves, right? I just think that is going to be in the Leon Rose fashion. And I wouldn't be mad, personally, if they said, you know what? We're going to re-sign Hartenstein, re-sign OG, keep Mitch, too, and run it back. I wouldn't be mad if they did that. John, you let me know. Would you be mad if they would have did that? So I'm going to start with the health. So I already kind of highlighted it. I think that if this team is healthy, they're going to win 55 games. That's the floor. It could be 60 games. I don't know. But I feel like we can win 5 more games with the healthy team. Maybe even more. I'm not limiting it that. I'm just saying, at minimum, 5 more games. Because, hey, you never know. The Eastern Conference might get a little bit more tough. Because you have teams on the East that have cap space or are looking to make moves. Miami is looking to make a move. They don't got cap space, but they're looking to make a move. And you never know. They might. Pat Riley, you can't underestimate this guy. Look how he got Terry Rozier. Though Terry Rozier was hurt, but that he was a solid player. That trade came out of nowhere, bro. So you can't sleep on Pat Riley and them. They're going to make a move, right? Sixers definitely going to make a move. They got cap flexibility. They got players with expiring contracts, right? So Philly's going to be better next year. Miami might be better, but they could also stay the same. We don't know. Who else? You got, who else is in the East? Chicago is another team that could possibly make moves. They made the play-in. Of course, they didn't make the playoffs, but at the same time, they had a lot of injuries. But they have the ability to make moves. They got Kobe White, who, in my opinion, should have been most improved player, right? So the landscape of the East, you got Cleveland, what happens with Donovan Mitchell, right? You got the Magic, who are like the OKC of the East, right? They're going to get better, right? They're young. So the East definitely can get a lot tougher, can get a lot better. So that may change the dynamics of things a little bit. But at the same time, I think that the Knicks can hold their own. Another thing, too, once again, team chemistry. Leon Rose has made it clear that they're only trying to get guys that fit within the culture. So in doing that, whatever guys they bring in is not going to mess up their team chemistry. The team chemistry, to me, is key. With all the Noble boys, it's a certain Knick culture that you have to buy into. And I think that they're going to be okay. Let's see. Big task at hand. You said, what do you think about... Okay, so I'm going to tell you about Mikal Bridges. And salute to my man, Brother Garfield podcast. Hopefully I can get back on there. We had a Thursday sports show where I was talking all sports, not just Knicks. But he was saying how he had this perfect... Tell me what you guys think about this. This is his theory, and I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are on it. He said that they could do a 3-team deal with Cleveland where Mikal Bridges comes to the Knicks, Donovan Mitchell goes to the Nets, and the Cavs get picks and other, players like maybe Cam Johnson or some, a nice little package, for Cleveland with picks and stuff like that. And we don't have to trade Randall. We get Bridges with OG. That'll be your starting lineup with Brunson, Randall, and Hartenstein or Mitch. I'm not sure what they're gonna have it at the 5 spot. But he presented that trade to me, and I thought that is kind of unique. But the one thing we do know is that the Nets will never trade with the Knicks. The last time the Knicks and the Nets made a trade was like 1980 something. And it was for players that are not even remember. I can't even remember the guys that was in the deal. We did talk about that on the podcast too. If you're a podcast listener, you probably might remember that. But yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't think the Nets will deal with the Knicks. I think the Nets are open into making moves because the Nets don't really have good quality draft picks. So they have to actually trade for a star. And Donovan Mitchell wants to come to New York. Cleveland might lose him. They might get, desperate and may be willing to move him. So that's what my take on that is. But I would love Mikal Bridges, though. I mean, he completes the cipher. Now you got the Nova boys for real, not for play. And another thing, too, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. I wanted to talk, but we're getting close to the end of the show anyway, so I'm going to jump in. I'm going to kind of mix and match. To all the people that think that we have small guards, we don't have small guards. That's something that's an old media narrative. Don't believe the hype. What I will say is that we had a lot of injuries in the front court. OG Anunoby, 6'7", 6'8", right? He played a lot of power forward. Randall, he's a power forward, right? All right, cool. Those two guys are out. Precious didn't really get burned until OG got hurt the second time. And then that's when OG really got a lot of time at that 4 spot. You had Josh Hart playing out of position a lot of times at the 4, Dante at the 3. Sometimes they would go with the Nova boys and Deuce. The Knicks are not small, right? I mean, if you get an upgrade, get an upgrade. I'm not knocking it. But the knock that the Knicks are small is you're not realizing that OG Anunoby and Julius Randle are out. Those are your big forwards. They're the ones that play the 4. So, and also Bojan is 6'7", 6'8". He could play a little bit of 4 too, right? So Knicks are not really small, but if you do get a Kelly Oubre Jr., I think he is a free agent. Y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. Kelly Oubre Jr. is a guy I would get. I like Kelly Oubre Jr. He actually can score. Yo, to be honest, Philadelphia wasn't using him right, bro. Kelly Oubre is a threat to score, bro. He was averaging 20 a game in Charlotte. He's a way more capable scorer than what he showed in the Philadelphia this year. Let's see. Big Taz says, and that's why the Nets will not be good. The Nets should work with the Knicks and take. Yo, but let me tell you something, Big Taz. The Nets are the most disappointing franchise in the NBA, in NBA history of all teams. The Nets. And anybody wants to debate that, we can. I know there's a lot of New York people in the house. I represent Kings County. Salute to Kings County. Kings County is definitely spared from this conversation because I'm an OG in terms of I know what the 90s was like. And then when I look back to the 90s, and when you talk about Nets, you're talking about New Jersey. So the Nets, for me, personally, will always be a New Jersey team. And salute to Jersey. I don't got no beef with Jersey. I'm a Jets fan, right? No beef with Jersey. I know Jersey claims the Jets. They like to say, oh, it's really the New Jersey Jets. No, it's really the New York Jets. Doesn't matter where you play. They represent New York. So, but at the same time, the Nets have been the New Jersey Nets. Let's not get that twisted. They were the New Jersey. The Jets, they were the New York Jets. They just play in Jersey. Get the difference? They play in Jersey, but they're the New York Jets. The Brooklyn Nets are the New Jersey Nets. They moved to Brooklyn. So for me, I was a Knicks fan way before there was a Brooklyn Nets, bro. So we're not even going to go there. But yeah, but the Nets, that's why Big Taz, they're the most disappointing franchise in NBA history. So screw the Nets, and I hope they continue to fail and fall. That's just how I feel, right? Not that I'm hoping it or wishing it for them, but based off what Big Taz is saying, they don't make the right choices. So we got team chemistry, right? We got the identity of the team. We actually have an identity now. And I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I watch a lot of NBA podcasts, and on Gil's podcast, they was talking about, oh, Coach Tibbs, I'm gonna go like Coach Tibbs. I'm gonna play you. I'm gonna play him. Because they had like a 2K tournament, whatever, and he don't sub his guys out. So he said, I'm gonna play like Coach Tibbs. I'm gonna play my guy, even though it's like kind of a false narrative. It's not really the case. When you're short-handed, you play guys more. But that culture of sticking with your team, your rotations, right? Being stubborn in that, having a system, knowing your guys knowing their roles. I think that that's going to be the reason why we really like excel over a lot of teams. Indiana got lucky, bro. They caught us at the right time for them. Wrong time for us, right time for them. We just was hurt, bro. But to be honest and real, what we are building, bro, like it's like next year we could be in the finals very easy, bro. I mean, we talking about 3 years of Brunson, bro. Look at all the accomplishments Brunson had in 2 years. Imagine next year, Deuce now has more confidence. He's the backup point guard. He doesn't got to look over his shoulder, right? If you get an upgrade, more than likely it'll be at the 2 spot, right? Because you're not going to, right? More than likely we want to bring Hartenstein back, right? More than likely we want to bring, OG back, right? So more than likely if you're going to make an upgrade, it'll be to move Dante to the bench and bring in a 2 guard. And or get a backup, forward that is like a Kelly Oubre type or someone. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna say a Jeremy Grant type. Not Jeremy Grant himself. He makes too much money, but somebody who could play both positions and can score a little bit but defend at a high level. So that'll be where the upgrades are. So that identity, that Tibbs style, grind it out. I think that's going to be more than enough to carry us forward. Because another thing too, right? Look at the Bucks, right? Who has been like one of the top teams in the East. They made a lot of changes. They made the Holiday trade. They changed coach 3 times. How are you a winning team and you changing your coach so many times, bro? So the Knicks, the Celtics, Pacers are building on. They adding on, but the Pacers is still kind of new too. Orlando, they're young, but they're building. Cleveland, they might lose Mitchell. Cleveland is building on the foundation, right? But a lot of these teams in the East are new. The Knicks, they sticking with their consistency. Like I said, 3 years of Brunson, right? Yeah, we made the RJ trade, right? That's a tweak. But at the same time, we're building on a solid foundation with core guys like Hartenstein, Mitchell Robinson, right? Randall. I think that's going to help carry us forward. I also think that Jalen Brunson can get better, which is scary. I also think Randall can get better. That's why to all the people that's saying, yo, make the Randall trade, I'm like, who do you want to trade him for? Who do you want to trade Randall for? Let me know in the comments. Let me see what Big Task is talking about. Big Task says, I thought that the Knicks would acquire Kelly Oubre like 2 seasons ago. Yes, he definitely said, yeah, Kelly Oubre is a guy who I would definitely, if the Sixers is playing games and they want to pay him, but I think the Sixers probably going to play. I think Daryl Morey is not slow. I think that he's looking at that team and maybe it might be something that gets delayed, but I think Oubre is going to get a bag from Philly. But if they don't, and he's willing to come to New York and know, because one thing about him, if he comes to New York, he knows that he could either start at the 2 or be the 6th man off the bench, right? Because if you get Oubre, they might move on from Boyan. I don't know what the Knicks are going to do. But if I'm Oubre and the Knicks is hollering at me, I would strongly consider it. Because like Big Tass just said, he does fit the style. Big Tass also says Halliburton is the Drake of the NBA. I hope Boston stomped him. You know what's crazy about that, Big Tass? I don't know how to feel about that Eastern Conference, man. I really don't. I really don't know how to feel about that Eastern Conference, yo. I don't care for neither team, bro. To be honest, I don't care. I hope they both, but I hope whoever wins gets killed in the final. And now that Denver's not there, bro, I hate to say it, man. I don't want to say it, but I am the objective Knicks fan. Celtics might win the championship, y'all. Trust me, I don't want it. But they might win the championship, bro. But I don't care for Boston either, Big Task. I want them both to fall. I hope whoever wins the series, they go to the finals and get swept. That's just how I feel, bro. I'm taking the objective fan hat off. I got the Knicks hat on, y'all. I hope they get swept in the finals. But, yeah, hey, you never know. But honestly, between Minnesota and Dallas, I don't know if I trust Luka in the finals, bro. Not a if he was 100%, he might be a problem that I don't know if Boston can solve. But being that he got all them ailments and they're gonna run so many defenders at him, it's gonna be tough for Dallas to win that. And I'm not trying to sleep on Minnesota. I just feel like Dallas is more seasoned, even though Dallas has a lot of young players too. So they both green in a lot of areas. But they got Kyrie though. I think Kyrie could be the difference. Let's see. Nah, man, y'all been calling soft is going to win. Cat, you know what? He has a good chance because, to be honest, they don't. I mean, well, they do. They do got Derek Lively from Duke. Salute to all the Duke people in the building. Right? I am a Duke fan. That's the only team I root for. That's not in New York. That's not New York based, but I'm a Duke fan. So, Derek Lively is one of them ones. I just think Towns. Hell, I think Towns and Nas Reed gives anybody on the Mavs the business. I think PJ Washington definitely will make it tough because he's dangerous in the corner threes. And you already know all the offense is coming from Kyrie and Luka. They're going to initiate everything. Lob threats, corner threes, the whole shebang. I mean, yeah, there is. I can't sleep. I don't know. You know what, Coach? I can't, honestly, I really can't call it. Hey, Coach, are you and Cat from the same town or something, man? Are you in tech? Because you always talking about Cat Coach. Do you realize, Coach, on every episode you mentioned Carl Anthony Towns, bro? Like every episode, Towns come up somehow. We're not even talking about trades right now. Let me see, Big Tash. Yeah, you understand? Yo, Big Tash, I'm glad you feel me. But the Pacers are talking hell of a trash, but Paul Pierce is a Celtic, bro. And you see what he did? Where Paul Pierce trumps anything the Celtics did, bro. Even Reggie Miller little comment about the beaches in Cancun. Reggie Miller was being complimentary in his diss. That's corny as hell. But Paul Pierce literally stepped on the jersey, bro. Nah, B. I don't know, bro. And he represents the Celtics to me. He's a Celtic, bro. Remember, I just had the article up. 2011, they swept us. Don't forget. He stepped on the jersey, bro. All right? I'm going to say we had more wars with the Pacers. Technically, we haven't had many playoff wars because we wasn't going to playoffs like that. But we had our wars with the Celtics too, y'all. Just not recently. Okay, Coach, you've been following me since high school. I do this on everyone's show. Oh, salute the Coach, man. I like Coach. Coach. And Big Taz, keep the questions coming, man. Keep the questions coming. And then I'm gonna end it like this, right? I think that in Leon Rose we trust, right? I kind of highlighted that already. And I guess I kind of touched on the flagship throughout the show too. And I don't want to keep going in circles with it, but in Leon Rose we trust. I think he's gonna have another great offseason. I don't know what moves he's gonna make because I feel like the team is really complete. But maybe Leon Rose has another move in him that we don't know. Or some of you guys may, be able to predict it. But I think he's going to do something to really cement us in the top two. Like, so now I'm not just sounding like a delusional Knicks fan. Of course, I'm not a delusional Knicks fan. But he's going to do something to make all of the old media change the narrative and put us in the top two. I strongly believe in that. Look at what Rose has done every year since he's been there. Every year since Leon Rose been there, he's done something. Even in the Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker year. Y'all can't front. Everybody was hyped when they got Kemba Walker and maybe not Evan Fournier, but at least when they got Kemba Walker, y'all was going crazy. Let me know. To everybody in the building, let me know if y'all went crazy when they signed Kemba Walker and y'all was like, yo, Kemba gonna put in work. Even though it didn't work out, right? It definitely didn't work out. We can't front. This is the objective Knicks fan. Level-headed Knicks talk. We don't ever front. It definitely didn't work out. But the point is, y'all were hyped for Kemba Walker. And if you say you wasn't hyped for Kemba Walker, I'm thinking you capping. Everyone was hyped. We was like, yo, every off season. And then in the midseason, there's a trade. Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Cam Reddish. Though Cam Reddish, I guess he was better than Knox. But there's always a trade, right? At least one trade in the middle of the season. Or one or two moves in the offseason. So you know there's a move coming. I just don't know what it will be. I'm taking a educated guess that it'll be a wing, like a Kelly Oubre type. Because for whatever reason, people think we need size. No, we just needed to be healthy. We have size. We just needed to be healthy. That's the problem. We wasn't healthy. Or a backup, like, forward type dude. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that could play the 4-5, like a Jeremy Grant type, not Jeremy Grant. Let me see what Big Tass is talking about, because I know he's going to keep it real. This is what I was thinking instead of looking at the good teams. Why not look at the lower tier teams with the very good talent? We can start in the East. So let's start in the East. So in the East, you got the Detroit Pistons. Yo, honestly, the Detroit Pistons, y'all, I don't know why they're that bad, bro. I mean, they did have, you know what? I take that back. They had a lot of injuries. But when you look at the talent they got, Jalen Duran, Cade Cunningham, the Ivy kid. Now they got Quentin Grimes. Yo, the Pistons got a lot of talent, bro. They got a lot of talent. Who else? Washington is kind of interesting, but I think Jordan Poole kind of messed that team up. But even Washington has talent. Charlotte Hornets definitely got talent. Yo, let me tell you something. And this is my bold prediction before the offseason start. It's too early, but I got the Hornets at least in the play-in next year. The Hornets, if they get LaMelo back, Hornets going to be a problem, bro. Y'all sleep on the Hornets if you want to. They definitely got talent. So, yeah, I mean, who else you want to look at? Like I said, Jordan Poole kind of messed Washington up. Atlanta Hawks, I don't know what the hell they're doing. We got to see. I know Chicago is banking on LaVine, maybe a big-time trade. I think DeMar DeRozan's a free agent, so we got to see what happens there. But let me see. Knicks ran out of steam. Who do I have in mind? Or y'all having a conversation in the chat? But I could answer that question. If I'm the Knicks, I'm looking to get an upgrade at the 2 spot and move Dante to the bench, or get a 4, backup 3-4. That's what I'm saying. I don't like Aj Denny. I can't say his last name. Knicks ran out of steam. I can't say that. Denny, he's I don't know. I don't know if he's the answer. I don't think he fits the what the Knicks are trying to do. I think Kelly Oubre is the best name that was mentioned on this stream. I think Kelly Oubre is one of the ones who would be that. So we covered the flagship, right? Now we're talking about off season. So let me see if there's any couple of more articles I'm gonna talk about that we get up out of here. Let's see. We do gotta talk about this real quick though. Jalen Brunson said that the season was a success. By the way, I have a poll on the community. You could go there every day now. Now that it's off season mode, I'll try to have a poll up every day. I try to do polls to make you think. But I have a poll asking you the question, is this season a success? We could talk about it here, but definitely go vote in the community post. What do you guys think? Jalen Brunson says that, they accomplished some things, but the season wasn't not a success. They didn't make it. Basically, what he was saying, let me see if I got the whole quote here. He says here, he asked if he thinks the season is a success, given what the Knicks have gone through. He said no. He says that he needs to be better. He'll go into the summer working to be better, which is going to be scary. If Jalen Brunson could come back better next year, that'd be crazy, right? But yeah, basically, that was the question. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that this season wasn't a success? I mean, really, come on, guys. Really? You guys really thought we was winning the championship? Be real. Of course, we're always going to be optimistic. I'm never picking the Knicks to lose. But at the same time, you in your heart of hearts, mind of minds, really believe that we were going to win the championship? Come on, guys. Let's see. All right, so did you have... All right, here's a better question. Did you guys really have the Knicks winning a championship this year? Or, not forget championship, because that's... Did you have the Knicks going to the finals this year? Early in the year. Not like, all right, not early in the year. Let's say midway in the year, did you have the Knicks going to the finals? Keep it real. And I'm going to get to some of these comments. Trey Murphy is looking good, though. Trey Murphy, yo, coach. That's the dude. That's the guy I was to... Trey, coach. You know what? Salute the coach, yo. Coach really enhances this podcast on Mondays. Definitely check us out every Monday. I'll be here. I think the time is going to be around 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock is now the official time for the pod every Monday. Even during the off season, I'm going to be talking Knicks. We'll be talking rumors and all this stuff. This is a year-round podcast. It never stops. It never ends unless I need to take a break. But definitely, Coach hit it on the nail, y'all. Trey Murphy is a good look. He would be the backup 3-4. I got another one for you guys. Jonathan Isaac from the Magic. I like Jonathan Isaac from the Magic, y'all. He fits what Coach Tibbs wants. And he stretches the floor. Now, yeah, he's not that much of an offensive threat in the mid-range, mid-post, high post, none of that. But he is 6'11". So he gonna get layups and dunks. But he likes to hit that three. He's spacing that floor, but he can literally guard every position on the floor. Jonathan Isaac, Trey Murphy, those are the guys I'm looking to get. Now, of course, you're not going to get Trey Murphy. But Jonathan Isaac, you might could get him. I have no confidence in the Magic in terms of their general manager. They just don't know what the hell they're doing. They haven't known what the hell they was doing since they lost Shaq. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Trey Murphy, all right. We talked about that. Brunson learned to throw lob. Brunson could throw a lob. Brunson could throw the lob. It's just that he ain't got nobody to throw. I mean, bro, Mitch gets the lob. Remember, Mitch only played 29 games. Mitch was getting lobs. The way the season ended wasn't a successful end. Overall, yes, 50 wins is very impressive. Okay, see, I'm glad you said what you said, Big Task, because that's my point, right? Coming into the year, none of you dudes was talking about the Knicks was making the finals, bro. The Knicks superseded your expectation. That's why I disagree with Brunson. But Brunson is a superstar. Salute to Jalen Brunson. So his standard of success is way higher than any of ours combined. Jalen Brunson really is trying to win a championship. He is not playing with these dudes. And he's a player, so he has to feel that way. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, y'all, I never had us... Realistically, I said, we might could win 50 games, right? I said that, 49, 50 games. I also said I thought we could be a third seed. We wound up becoming a second seed. So right there off the bat, that's superseded my expectations. I was thinking third seed. We finished as a second seed. We went to the second round, and game 7 of a second round. Now, if we would have had our team, I think the expectations would have been higher. But I think going into the playoffs with a hobbled team without your 3-time most accomplished all-star, that's a tall task to ask for these guys to go to the finals. So to a big task, I understand what he's saying, but a lot of those standards came later. No one was feeling this way in the beginning of the season. I was there. I did the poll. Everybody was talking about 49, maybe 50 wins. No one was talking about finals, bro. All that final stuff came with the OG trade. And you start winning games and everything looking good in January. That's when we start raising our expectations. But once you see the injuries come in, that's when you got to dial it back, bro. But a big task. I feel you. Because to be honest, we were the favorites to win the series. All the experts picked us. All All the ESPN guys picked us. I don't think no one picked the Pacers last week when we covered. No, 2 weeks ago. We talked about what the experts picked. The Knicks was the resounding favorites by all the experts. Only the haters had us losing. So let me see. Let's keep it moving. A lot of comments today. By the way, salute to the chat, y'all. Y'all really making the show pop. I love it. I love talking this Knick talk. But I see where Big Task is coming from. Coach says he always thought the East was wide open. Yeah, the East was definitely wide open. Especially once again, like because keep it real, y'all. A lot of y'all had the Celtics and the Bucks as top of the East. Then Philly came a little later when Joel Embiid started putting up the 35 and 12 or whatever it was. It was crazy. That's when Philly came on. But realistically, the East was more wide open than the West, but it was really two favorites. It was Boston and Milwaukee. Then that changed. Then Philly came in. Then eventually the Knicks came in, right? No one ever believed in the Cavs, by the way, because the Cavs was up there a lot, too. Let's see. Fully healthy, you know what? I was expecting the finals. Really? Big Task, you came into the season, Big Task? Come on, y'all. Did y'all really come into the season expecting us to go to the finals, y'all? I expected us to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I created the path for the Eastern Conference Finals. But realistically, I was like, yeah, second round seems to be realistic too, because honestly, I knew Boston was going to be the best team in the East. In terms record-wise, I knew it. I was like, yo, Boston, they're going to win the East. It's going to look incredible, and then they're going to crash and burn. And I still think they're going to crash and burn. Maybe not in the East Finals, but in the Finals. Now, Milwaukee, to me, at the time, before they hired Doc, I felt like with Dame Lillard and Giannis, Dame Lillard's a pick-and-roll guy. And Giannis, I thought, but they don't really run pick-and-roll like that. I think that's part of the problem. But anyway, I'm thinking in my head that the Bucks is probably going to win the East out, right? So I never had the Knicks going to the finals. All the Knicks finals talk came after the OG trade. And you guys can't, I'm not going to believe it. If you guys tell me you was believing that coming in the season, hey, if you say that, yeah, you're really optimistic. I don't think nobody was on that type of time. But hey, I could be wrong. Let's see. Knicks ran out of steam. Tiz wasn't able to adjust. Nah, man, it's not adjustments. Not adjustments. I had a podcast earlier. I had a host on the podcast. This was early in the season. And I told him, I said, look, last year's playoffs, I don't believe there's anything else that Coach Tibbs could have done to get us past the Heat. At that moment in our development, the Heat just was a better team. I hate to say it. And Randall was hurt. Maybe if Randall was healthy, it would have been a little different. Same thing this year, bro. You can't win in the playoffs without your top guys. You don't have a team winning a championship going to the finals with 4 starters out. Like, that's just not reality, bro. So I felt like we could get to the East Finals because I felt like without our guys, we were better than the Pacers, but that was when OG was there. Remember, when we went into the series, we had a healthy OG. In my opinion, with OG, anything is possible in the basketball in the playoffs. But when he went down, I still was saying we could do it, but my confidence dropped a lot. It definitely dropped a lot because OG took Pascal Siakam out of the game. When OG goes down, that awakes Pascal because Pascal or Miles Turner to me were more of an X factor than Halliburton. All Halliburton did was ignite them and hit threes and make good passes. But when it came to X factors and who really made the game out of touch or who really took over the game, it was Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam, if you ask me. So I thought that, yeah, we definitely is going to make the East Finals. And honestly, I wish you guys could see my notes. I was getting ready to go on a campaign as to why we could beat the Celtics, though I wasn't going to ever say that we were favorites to win the series, but I felt like there's possibilities there. But all of that, remember, all of that came with a healthy OG, though. Once OG went down, things definitely changed. So let's see. Don't have to pay him much because of the injuries and plug and play. Good call. Yeah, definitely a good call. But yeah, I agree. Caruso, so you don't like Dante? Because you gotta understand, Caruso basically will be taking Dante's everything. I don't know. Caruso's solid, but I feel like I don't think he's a huge upgrade. And then now you'll be bringing in Caruso because, all right, so here's how, all right, so next year, right, next season, Josh Hart is going to have to get 30 minutes, right? If you bring in Caruso and Dante, it's like you're going to have a logjam again. Hey, maybe that's what we need. I mean, if you're getting Caruso and you don't have to give up nobody, he's not going to hurt. I just feel like, is he really better than Dante? I'm saying an upgrade. So, all right, for me, an upgrade is DeJounte Murray. That's an upgrade. Like, one, you got to be a 20-point per game scorer. I'm not going to get a guy who is right there on Dante's level, even though he is all NBA defense. But yeah, Trey Murphy definitely was a good one too, though. Let me see. Big Task, in the beginning, prior to OG trade, I was thinking 4th seed. See, thank you, Big Task. That's the point. Big Task. That is the point. Everybody was thinking 3rd seed, 4th seed before OG got there. So to say that this season is not successful, come on, bro. It's a step in the right direction, bro. I don't think success equals championship. Because how I look at championship is this, and I'm not a player. I don't know more than Jalen Brunson, right? But I was a kind of a life coach kind of guy, goal setting and things of that nature. Life stuff, I probably know a little bit more than Jalen Brunson, right? Because I'm older. But when you're on the path to a championship, only 2 teams, literally, in the history of the basketball that I could think of, I'm going to say recent history, because the 70s and all of that, who knows what the hell happened, right? But within the last 30 to 40 years, you don't have teams making a trade and then win a championship. Only team that did that, if you want to look at Toronto, kind of, but Toronto, not really, because Toronto was a really good team. Like, you don't have teams coming out of nowhere winning champion. Like, you don't, like the Lakers did. The Lakers came out of nowhere and won a championship. Celtics kind of the same because they wasn't really that good of a team when they got the big 3. They were like barely a playoff team. But yeah, that one year they made the trade, they won a championship. Typically, it takes time, yo. Like, look at all the last championship we had since that Toronto team. Even I don't even like to count Toronto because they had a really good team, and they only made the trade they did for Kawhi was kind of a straight up trade. It was DeMar DeRozan, somebody else, I can't even remember who that guy is, and like 2 picks for Kawhi. So they kept their team intact. They basically replaced DeMar DeRozan with Kawhi. That's what they did. So, I mean, you don't really have that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to say. Like, it takes time. So this is why, for me, on the journey to the championship, you go from 47 wins to 50 wins. That's an improvement. You go from the 5th seed to the 2nd seed. That's an improvement. We didn't make it out of the 2nd round. We did make the 2nd round last year, but hey, we went to Game 7 instead of Game 6. That's an improvement. We actually was a favorite in the series. That's an improvement. So we gotta, have a positive outlook, bro, on life. Jalen Brunson, his standards are way higher than ours. So he's allowed to say that. I'm disagreeing with him. I think that, yeah, we didn't win the championship. Yeah, we didn't get to the East Finals. Game away in your home building, still a success. Let's see what else you guys got. Man, salute to everybody in the chat, y'all. Definitely rocking. We definitely getting ready to wind down. But a lot of comments I want to read, though. Let me see. Let's see. Caruso's the backup. Yeah, but all right, so Caruso's the backup, big task, but like, how are you getting Caruso? Is he a free agent? I don't know if he's a free agent. Let me know about that in the chat, big task. They really need to bring Marcus Morris Sr. back. Oh, that dude, Marcus Morris, yo, let me tell you, bro. Yo, did y'all see that game? Was that game 5? Marcus Morris was putting in that work. He was keeping Cleveland in the game. I would love to get Marcus Morris Sr. back, bro. I would love to get him back. Yeah, for sure. Yo, if he's available, I'd take him. Why not? And he was with the Knicks already. Yo, I would definitely get him. The kid over from Europe. Wait, the kid from what was that? What country was that? I know you're talking about Jabakis or something like that. Can't remember his name. Can't remember the country. I'm bad with names, y'all. Sorry. I don't know. I mean, what's he gonna do though? He gonna take minutes from Deuce? You talking about the point guard, right, Kevin? Let me know in the chat. Salute to you, Kevin. Salute to everybody in the building. I will read all these chat messages, then we're gonna get up out of here. Let me see the difference between the Pacers in game 1 and game 2. And the rest of the series, it was how Siakam was utilized. Yes. You don't hit 60% in the last 3 games without adjustments. Yo, Nick ran out of steam. You're so right. Remember, OG Anunoby was guarding him in games 1 and game 2. That's the reason why Siakam was utilized differently. Once OG is out of there, now we can highlight Siakam because the Knicks don't got nobody that can match him. Pascal couldn't guard him on the perimeter, right? Josh Hart struggled in the paint with him, right? But salute to Josh Hart, yo. Salute to Josh Hart. He was holding it down. But that was the change. Knicks ran out of steam. Now you can actually run mid. First off, the crazy part about that series is the Pacers became a half-court team overnight. They literally don't play like that, bro. They switched their whole style of play. I watched at least. Remember, the Pacers don't come on TV. I had League Pass. I watched at least 12 to 15 Pacers games because I try to watch the ops. So what I do is I watch 2 games a night. And it'll be a Knicks game if the Knicks are playing and another team. Or it will just be 2 other teams because the Knicks is off. So I watched at least 10 to 15 Pacers. No, 12 to 15 Pacers games. And I'm telling you, the Pacers do not play like that. They're not a half-court team. They're terrible in the half-court. And the defense it was not the Pacers' defense that shut us down. No, it was not. It was the fact that half of the series, Jalen Brunson had an ankle situation, or at least for 2 games, his ankle was bothering him. So they were trapping him. That was the games that was in Indiana, right? Trapping him, playing him 94 feet, making it difficult, right? He still was giving them the work, though. But at the same time, it wasn't the Pacers' defense. Also, you got to remember, sometimes Dante would be on, sometimes he would be off. Our shooters wasn't really consistent like that. Deuce was solid for a lot of those games. Burks was solid when he got the opportunity to play. But realistically, yo, our offense, we did not have enough consistency from the other guys. I think maybe Josh Hart probably was the most consistent. Remember OG when OG was there. But besides OG, Josh Hart probably was the most consistent scorer outside of Brunson on the team, if you ask me, in the playoffs. So, yeah, I think that's what it was. But, it's nothing really that Rick Carlisle did outside of somehow playing in the half court. Then in the half court, and we talked about this during the salute to you viewers watching the live play-by-play. We talked about how, the pick and pop with Miles Turner was definitely a concern. So that was one of the schemes they would run. A lot of TJ McConnell, just dribbling around. I call it the Tony Parker package. Salute to you if you know who Tony Parker is and how he used to play. All of that dribbling in, running underneath the basket, like basically forming a U, right, in his trajectory under the basket. Then turning around, being able to hit shots or feed guys, playing off pick and roll, a lot of that stuff. Like the Pacers really, they did a good job in the half court. And outscoring us in the paint. I was stunned. No, I can't say I'm stunned too much because, like I said, once OG went down, that changed the series. All that started with OG went down, by the way. Oh, salute the big Taz. You saw when Marcus was putting in that work. Yeah, he definitely was putting in that work. Let me get to Kevin Taylor though. Hold on, let me see some. Got a lot of comments here, y'all. Definitely winding down, but I am going to read all the comments before we get up out of here. Let's see. If he's going to be the backup center. Wait, hold on. So Mitchell. All right, let's keep it real, guys. I didn't get to Mitchell Robinson yet. I do have an article I was going to get to. Basically talking about Mitchell Robinson's surgery, right? So let's talk about that for a second. Do you honestly believe that Mitchell Robinson should be the backup center going forward? And if you believe he should be the backup center going forward, would you consider trading him? Because you don't need Mitch off the bench. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. I think that if we keep it Mitch, he has to start. But at the same time, Hartenstein, is he going to want to be a backup? That's tough. I don't know. I just don't like Mitchell Robinson as a backup center, bro. I feel like I would prefer a more of an Al Horford, Nas Reed type of guy who can actually, Bobby Portis type of guy who can actually give you buckets off the bench. May not be as strong defensively, but can play a little defense, grab some boards, and score. I think that's what you need off the bench, bro. I don't know if I want Mitchell off the bench. What you think about that, guys? You want Mitchell Robinson off the bench? I don't know if I want that. Let me see a couple of more comments. Big Rat Guru is perfect at the shooting guard. I agree, Kevin. If you're not getting a real upgrade, all-star caliber level player, I'm not making a trade for a two guard. It don't make no sense. Unless you're getting somebody like who could play 2 and 3, like a Kelly Oubre, who could play like 2-3 positions. Then I say it. But I'm bringing Kelly mostly off the bench unless like there's a matchup I want to exploit. Because I feel like with Kelly Oubre, you could exploit certain matchups. But yeah, I agree. I want Dante to start. Unless I'm getting a DeJounte Murray or somebody like that. Which more than likely we're not going to get. But we'll see what happens. Or hell, even if they wanted to do a Donovan Mitchell trade, by the way, I'm not for that. But that's somebody who is going to take Dante's spot. I need somebody that you're going to say, yeah, that Dante's spot going to be taken. Alex Caruso, to me, is on the same level of Dante. Dante might even be higher based off the offensive output, I feel like, with Dante's three-point shooting. But, yeah, I don't want nobody that's on his level. Let's see. If Mitchell's going to be, okay, we talk about that. Same time, he'll increase his speed. 95 Rockets when they traded for Drexler. Okay. Let's see. Expectations change as the season goes. Exactly. Knicks ran out of steam. I get that. The expectations change when as the season goes along. You know, you get good players. You get on a run. You wind up, people thought you were going to be an 8th seed. You wind up finishing as a 3rd seed. All that matters. But at the same time, those higher expectations, to me, represent some sort of success. Don't you think? I don't know. I just see that as success. Maybe I'm just too, open, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Final, I'm going to wrap up. We're getting down to the wire, man. Great comments, y'all, by the way. Let's see. So Knicks ran out of steam. I expected New York to beat Indy because of the rebounding. Okay. But Pacers did right. Yeah, but Knicks ran out of steam. The Knicks literally ran out of steam. You got the right name because of the injuries, yo. And then when Jalen went down, what can you do? Even if you win the game, I mean, now you got Brunson with a fractured left hand. I mean, that's not good. Coach says Mitch. He says but he's talking about Mitch. He should be starting. He came back too early. You keep them both. Now, Coach, check this out, though, Coach. If Isaiah Hartenstein says to you, I'll resign, but I want to be the starting center, right? Because all that stuff sounds good on TV. Oh, I love Mitch and all of that, but behind the scenes, you don't know what's going down. It could be a team coming to him like, yo, we're going to make you the starting center and we're going to give you the bag. Knicks come to him and say, look, we could match the bag, but we want you to come off the bench. Do you think Hartenstein takes that? And then now, Knicks, if Hartenstein doesn't take it, are you prepared to lose Hartenstein? For Mitch, it's a tough, listen, Whatever happens in Leon Rose, I trust. Any final comments you want me to go? Anything you want to talk about? I think I covered a lot of the major stuff. I didn't do word on the street. Let me see. Don't want to talk about the Pacers. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what this Jalen Brunson poll. Not a lot of people voted. We'll talk about that next time. We'll talk about the poll. Let's try and wrap up. We talked about Mitchell Robinson. Running plays into the ground. We kind of talked about that already last week. We talked about that. Mitchell goes on the end. We talked about that. Josh Hart, yeah. He defended Coach Tibbs. Mitchell Robinson. Let's see. Josh Hart, yeah. Okay, let's keep it moving. Right, we talked about that. Was the flagship. Top Coach Tibbs. Oh yeah, be on the lookout for that video I'm gonna record. I'm talking about Coach Tibbs wanting to whether or not he deserves the extension. I'm gonna drop a video on that. I like what Coach says. Coach says, I'm prepared to lose anyone, but I'm not letting a career backup dictate anything. Salute the coach. And you know what? And I think that's the upper hand that Leon Rose has. Dude, you had one good season. You know, I mean, yeah, there's a market. There's teams with money that actually could use the service, like OKC. But at the same time, you know, I think that you built a home with the Knicks. And look, let's keep it real. Mitchell Robinson doesn't last a whole year. You already know Mitch gonna get hurt. I hate to say it like that, man, but Mitch is gonna get hurt. So you're gonna get time, bro. Mitch gets hurt every year, coach. So that's why I feel like you gotta have another center. You gotta have another center, yo. Like, I don't care what you decide you want to do. You gotta have another center, man. But my mic thing messing up. My son messed up my mic, but it's okay. But yeah, I agree with you, coach. But I think that's all for this pod, man. We actually did a 2-hour pod. I think this is the first time we ever did a 2-hour pod. A lot of great conversation. You know, big up to yourself, Nick Nation. You know, don't hold your head, man, but be sure to join the Discord, Knicks Tape Madness. The link is there. Everybody, make sure you join the Discord, man. I look forward to having you guys there. Right now, me and Sam is up in there. We try to get more people in there. I haven't been promoting it much, but I'm going to promote it a lot more. So by the time the next season starts, we got our own little crazy Discord community where we go all chat, unlike the Facebook and social media restrictions. We can have some really good talk. You know, we can have vent sessions. Like, we could have did literally a venting call, you know, just to get our frustrations out. Because I understand sometimes you just need to get, as a Knicks fan, need to get these emotions out. You know, a lot of us, like, we don't have people who are real Knicks fans. A lot of us know casual Knicks fans. So that's why, another reason why I wanted to add to the community, but bring some level-headed Knicks talk, because there's a lot of craziness. And so I wanted to bring some level-headed Knicks talk, man. But that's all for this pod, y'all. Make sure you join the Discord, y'all. And that's all for this pod, man. So we'll be getting the off-season and starting next week on next week's pod, 2 o'clock Eastern time. Be here, be square. So until next time, no matter what, win, lose, or draw, it's let's go. Yeah.